Okay, welcome back to another epi with TidBits. MidWeek TidBits here. We have our regular guests, um, the boys. This is Ambrose,
I'm Gibraltar.
and as you know, my name is Jaboris. So there have been new rumors leaked that the new PT game is coming back. Um, Hideo Kojima was heading up this new project for Silent Hills, and only drama and disaster unfolded, and the project was canceled. However, new rumors have resurfaced, and we actually have a leaked copy by IGN right here. So, Gibraltar, if you could just kind of bring that to the camera and kind of give us the insider information, what you know about the game,
Sure.
and where it is at.
Yeah. An anonymous fan sent this totally authentic looking PT cover that is
Bring it a little closer.
it's supposed to be hitting shelves supposedly in the summertime, which that's pretty soon if you ask me for a game. So just a little backstory on PT. It's sort of a prelude to what was supposed to be a new Silent Hill game. The demo came out digitally on PSN in 2013 or 14. And this isn't exact, and since Konami cut ties with Kojima, the director of the game, we didn't really see any more from it, even though he's making a new game called Death Stranding, which a lot of people thought was sort of tied into the Silent Hill universe, which, you know, that's a totally legit fan theory, because science fiction and horror and Silent Hill totally have something to do with each other. And so, if you'll remember, they deleted PT off the PlayStation Store, but this is actually PT. This isn't anything new, but this is PT brought back physically so people can buy it, and who knows, there could be more content that we don't even know about yet. Ambrose, if you were to play, you've never played PT, but if you were to play it, like, what would you like to see?
Well, I've only played the player trial, which I guess really is what PT originally stood for.
Right.
Whereas now the whole Silent Hills thing, it's not gonna be called Silent Hills anymore. They're just gonna call it PT.
Yeah, I think this is, like I said, this is kind of a physical demo. I think it stands for pilot test,
Yeah.
which means they're just going to see how people feel about it buying a demo first.
There's
I've
that.
also heard other theories that it actually stands for Peter Trey, who is believed to be the main character in the game.
That's right, Peter Trey from Silent Hill 1.5 HD.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on the game when it comes out is that the PT demo, it was that random, well, I guess not really random, but it was a loop that went around and around, and you had to solve that puzzle. What I would like to see in a full game is something bigger and better. Something, some kind of loop that just takes hours to go through once. I think that's really what players are looking for more than anything, is just a bigger loop to go through, and that's just something that
You go.
yeah, that's just something that I thought was a really good observation on my part. So
One thing I'd really love to see is 2 hallways to loop through. I know that's asking a lot from a big company like Konami, but it'd be really cool to see 2 hallways instead of 1. You know, that would be double the content. I'd easily pay $70 for a full demo that's 2 hallways to loop through for about an hour
Now,
with puzzles.
a few critical points I had from the original playable teaser. I would say that there was not enough
Teasing.
general garbage and debris. So, like, if they could, we've been working on a debris mod for the original playable teaser for a while, and how's that coming along?
It's coming along really good. I've actually got the mod on this flash drive right here. And you can actually score yourself one of these little 2 gigabyte flash drives at 4Guys Play Games store. But sorry, what was the question? I was just really excited about the flash drive.
My question was whether or not you think Norman Reedus was a good actor to play in this game.
I think adding 3 hallways would be a really cool addition to the story itself. Whether Norman
Something
Reedus...
I would like to see would be more of a backstory on Peter Trey himself.
Know what though? If they add, okay, this is something I came up with on the spot. If they add 3
This isn't
3
scripted.
hallways, if they add 3 hallways, why don't they add 3 Norman Reeduses?
I think Peter Trey can bring both of those answers that left us. We had a lot of questions at the end of the original PT, so I think playing the full PT2 will bring Norman Reedus and Peter Trey together, because as we all know, Norman Reedus will literally be called Norman Reedus in PT. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and there's a few speculations on what PT will finally be standing for. So could you give us some observation on that?
Could you repeat what you mean exactly by that?
Well, PT, it's sort of like it. The P stands for player in the original trial, and T stood for trial. But in the new PT that's coming out, it's going to stand for something else, because it's going to be a full game and not just a trial.
Yeah.
So what are some of your observations on that?
So if you actually go into the crypto world, you'll be able to see there have been different types of money laundering access points throughout Brazil and throughout Cancun and throughout Saudi Arabia and throughout Nigeria, and a lot of these places actually have tried to decipher different meanings for what PT means, and a lot of these other places have a different alphabet, such as Cancun. Cancun doesn't have the normal alphabet.
They only have A to T, which is really good why it ends with T, because if they didn't have that letter, they'd be screwed.
Then, they wouldn't really be a part of the equation. So some people have thought PT stood for Papa Teddy, but they thought about it and it's like, that doesn't really make sense for a horror game, right?
One thing that I kind of thought would make sense, and this is just my thought, that since it was originally going to be a Silent Hills game, why don't they just call it Pilot Tills?
And this has been MidWeek TidBits with your boys.
The Timmies.